The truth to making well over $10 million in online courses. And today I know that this topic, it could be highly controversial. Chances are it's going to trigger some people, but this needs to be talked about. I'm going to be showing you exactly how I did it, how I monetized and made my first million in the gaming niche, how I made a whole lot more teaching other people how to monetize what it is they know. And I'm going to be showing you how my friends are doing it, how are they selling their courses, and if this is a suitable path for you. Let's begin with talking about just how much exactly is $10 million. I don't know about you, but growing up in the Asian upbringing, every Asian parent pretty much wants their kids to grow up to become lawyers, doctors, engineers. If you were to think about getting the dream professional job, even as a doctor, as a specialist, how much do you get paid? I don't know, maybe $500,000 a year if you're good, about $30,000 a month, which is a lot of money for a professional. Even at that level, to be able to earn $10 million, that is a really long time. Now, I'm not good at math, but let's say if it's 300 grand a year, 3 million would be 10 years. 9 million would be 30 years. Let's just say you would be too old and you might be dead by the time you actually earn that amount. So what am I trying to say here? The first point I'm trying to establish is this. The differentiator between rich people and successful and the unsuccessful is that the successful will collapse time, whereas the poor will elapse time. Now, this is something that I learned from my friend Myron Golden, but he actually told me this. He said, if you take a look at the difference between rich and poor people in the way they think about time and money, poor people will trade their time for money. They will be willing to save that $5 or $10 or $30 in order to exchange their time. So they will let time elapse for the sake of money. Whereas rich people, successful people, the way they think about time and money is they will collapse time. They will always try to think about how can they use money as a tool to buy back time. Even though you really can't buy time, when it comes to business, you can leverage time. So how can we take this understanding to the online world? Now, we need to have this thing that is scalable. How do we use this thing and make it scalable? Well, we'll have to first build something that will take up our time, focus, energy. And let's talk about how can we build and create that first million in the online world using the methods how I started out. So if you know my story, I started out and how I made my first big break was in the computer game World of Warcraft. And what I really did that opened my eyes to a whole new world of selling courses and products online is just teaching people what I know. So when I first started out, just like many of you, perhaps you could have done that search online. I typed in the words, how to make money online, and I got like 2 billion search results. And they all told me different things. I tried things here and there. But one thing that stood out for me was this product that told me I should create an ebook. Now, I didn't think I had strength back then, but what I really did was my first ever product, I created a $7 ebook teaching people how to make gold in World of Warcraft. Now, if you've never played the game, it might not make sense to you. It wasn't that I was an expert, I was pretty good at it. So I took what I knew and I put it in the course, an ebook, and I sold that ebook. And that was what enabled me to make my first $7. And I made my first million in that space, in teaching people how to excel in those computer games that was really hot. So I scaled my business from just World of Warcraft to other computer games. Eventually, first product that did over $1 million was in Farmville, was this game that was super hot in Facebook. It was like in 2009, I created, again, another product, which was an ebook, a course teaching people how to grow their crops more efficiently in that game, which is ridiculous looking back in retrospect. But what I realized in that process, and now of course I'm teaching people marketing, social media, traffic generation, sales processes. Like some people would say, like selling courses online, that's not a real business. In fact, I get that comment once in a while. So let's talk about what does it take to make the first $1 million. The question that I think I want you to ask yourself is, do you want to reach 1,000 people selling a $1,000 product, or do you want to reach 1 million people selling at a price point of $1? Because there are many ways to make $1 million. Now, of course, there are middle ground in between, but after trying out all these different price points, it really comes down to what market you are in. I believe that the best markets out there is known as the big three, right? Health, wealth, relationships. These are big three. Now, sometimes it would be hard for a person to determine, oh, but what if I'm selling like a product in golf? It's not really in health, wealth, or relationships. You see, hobbies like World of Warcraft, a computer game, if you really think about it, your marketing message needs to fall in one of these three categories. So like for me, World of Warcraft, it was a computer game, but ultimately, why would people want to excel in the game? To look good amongst their peers. Why would people want to have more gold in World of Warcraft? So that they would be able to excel in the game and they would have a higher level of status. So just like golf itself could be a hobby, but the marketing message needs to be either always about health, wealth, or relationships. Have you ever seen a Gillette commercial? A Gillette commercial, what are they really selling? They're selling a blade. But their marketing message, what do you think it is? The last time I saw one, it was this guy who was just shaving and somehow there were like other hot chicks surrounding him and how he would be, getting these dates because he was using a Gillette razor. The marketing message for the razor was relationships. What does this have to do with you? It means that when it comes to monetizing online through courses, I personally believe that choosing evergreen markets are the best markets. If you want to start creating a course, begin by thinking about, is it in one of the big three? And if it's not, how can you create the marketing message around the big three? Okay, so for a really long time, you take a look at how businesses have evolved. It's usually arbitrage. It's usually buy cheap, sell it somewhere else to a group of consumers that's willing to pay it at a higher price. Now, the problem with arbitrage, buying and selling, is that there are overheads, there's shipping, there's fulfillment. What is amazing about digital products is that it is highly scalable. What if you could set it up so that it's a digital download or they get a username and password? There's no fulfillment. Are there costs? Sure, but it's not physical cost. It's more towards Facebook cost, advertising cost, and the hassle of dealing with logistics just isn't there. So if you were to take a look at the one thing that every top marketer in the world that sells digital courses and why they're successful is that we leverage technology to enable us to do the selling 24 hours a day. Now, this could be social media, through YouTube videos, just like the video that you are watching right now. It could be Facebook, it could be Instagram, through your Instagram stories, the ads that you see there, that ultimately leads people to a product, to a course. Now, I'm not here to sell you a course. I'm just here to show you, in the context of this video, that that's how the game works. To start off by building relationships with people that don't know who you are so that you get discovered, so that you build trust, you give them value, so that eventually they see that you can help them by actually helping them. If you take a look at every top marketer that has excelled in digital courses, they do the same thing. They have a course, and once they create that course, they think about, where is my ideal audience hanging out? That's what happened for me when I sold my first World of Warcraft product. After I created my product, I had a question like most marketers would have, which is, how do I drive more traffic? That's the wrong question. So whether it's a $50 product or $2,000 product, the question you need to ask is, where are my audiences congregating and how can I enter the conversation that's already happening right now? So when I first started out with World of Warcraft, there wasn't Facebook, there wasn't Facebook groups. So I was asking myself, where are the websites, where are the forums that they are hanging out so that I can create baits, for lack of a better word, to bait them into what it is that I have to offer. So what would I do? I would start creating content in World of Warcraft. I would start participating in the forums that they were hanging out in. I would answer their questions. And back then, when the forums was a thing, my signature in that forum would be a link to my product. Now, obviously, it's been, 12 years now? The game has changed a lot. So today, this could be Facebook groups. This could be a Google search. This could be a YouTube video. Once you have your product, start thinking, where are my audiences hanging out? Where are they congregating? And how can I enter the conversation that's already happening right now? Am I helping them move towards pleasure or away from pain? And then create that bait, for lack of a better word, so that they can see that you can actually help them because you are actually helping them. Does that make sense? So once you create that, that's really the big moving pieces. You have your product, you're now helping your people through all these different platforms, and that is pretty much how the online course industry works. I know that this is highly controversial. A lot of people say selling courses is not a real business. But then again, like to me, that's where it doesn't make sense. It's like in order to be eligible, to be qualified as a real business, I need to have real overheads and expenses. Where else this business model that requires close to no overheads other than marketing costs, that doesn't make sense to me. So whatever it is, I'd love to know what your opinion is. Let me know below. What do you think about the online course industry? Does it sound like a scam to you? Some people think it's a scam. I think it's one of the greatest business models in the world. But either way, I'd love to hear your opinion. And if you love this video, click on the bell button for future notifications for videos like this one. This is Peng Joon, you've been awesome, and I'll see you in a future video.